So here we are, Dave Zammit here in Manasquan, New Jersey. Just got done with this beautiful property and used Warmboard Comfort System as his heating choice. Why don't you show us the house, Dave?
Sure, come on in.
So we're here in the mechanical room, which is also Dave's laundry room. Dave, let me ask you, you've been building a long time, you've worked with other radiant systems. How did Warmboard go down compared to other systems?
Well, the way the Warmboard works is when we're framing the house, we have the 1.1 the Warmboard panels that we put down. So it made framing a lot easier. And then we snapped all the pipes in after we had the house framed up. And then we ran all the pipes up into this laundry room.
Now what we have here, these are the manifold controllers. Manifold controllers essentially talk to the boiler. And that's a proprietary technology that we've included in our comfort system. You've got two manifolds here, one for the first floor, one for the second floor. Actuators, all plug and play the comfort system is. Dave just needed to get power here. Each manifold needed a 110 J box.
We installed the manifolds, it was all the tubings, we tied it all in. And then I had my plumber, he did all the copper work. Basically, it was a one-day install on all the copper work right to the boiler. So the plumber was really impressed how fast it was because it's only one pump, and that's which is inside the warm source. So at the end of the day, it was a really quick install.
Did the plumber have experience with radiant?
He did, but not with Warmboard. He had experience of building a manifold. Every zone have its own pump. It's days of work, a bigger area to have this system installed. And this house is basically near the Jersey coast, so we have to be above the flood elevation and we're limited for space. So this system definitely worked out the best for this application.
The warm source, that's the boiler unit itself, is located right here. Pretty good looking unit, as far as boilers go.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's all built in, it's all in one. It mounts to the wall very easily. You got your exhaust and your intake. Then we have a drain over here for the excess water to come out. But again, it was a one-day install between the pipe work back to the manifold, vented it out the roof, and installing the warm source to the wall. In a matter of a couple hours, we had heat running through the house.
Now, did you use the construction mode during construction?
We did. We did use it during the construction.
And that is the coolest thing. The construction mode is great because, a lot of builders want to get weathered in before the winter time comes and then want to build throughout the winter. So rather than bringing in propane heaters and these, all these crazy ways that we see these projects being heated during the winter months, makes it a lot easier. So as far as the thermostats go, Dave, what's your opinion on them? Easy to use?
It is actually a lot easier than you could think. You definitely have the 110 nearby, always by a switch. When the house is sheetrocked and you're ready to put your thermostats in, they just snap in. It's easy wiring. It's a really fast system.
And the nice thing is you didn't have to wire the thermostats from the T-stat location to the boiler. So the low voltage wiring that most systems require, virtually all systems require, wasn't part of this system. So tell me, Dave, why did you pick Warmboard for this project? You've been doing this a long time. You got a lot of options. What made you do the comfort system?
Well, this is my personal house, and over the years I had hot water baseboard heat in my house, in last two houses, and the heat is not the same. So I researched radiant heat, and I looked at different systems where you could put down, PEX and do a gypcrete. Then you have to worry about all different heights, when you're, basically when you're framing to have the heights for the door clearances, and then you have the weight of, the weight on the flooring. So when I looked at how Warmboard was basically installed, it seemed like a faster system, a better structural system for the house with the weight, and easier to install. So now I had it basically running for at least 3 months out of the winter, and the heat is so even that you don't even know the heat's on. The plumber that I use, he works with other systems, and he does a lot of plumbing for me on other jobs. And when he designed this system, he couldn't believe how the install was so easy. It's really it's basically a one-day install once the manifold is all put together. So it's not like it's a couple days worth of work. It's a lot of less materials. So when he was said and done with this, he couldn't believe how easy this system was.
Listen, I've done houses of this size up and down the shore over the years, and before the comfort system came into play, these projects were being done in the traditional old-fashioned way, that kind of thing, and they were taking. I mean, a project this size would have taken easily 2, 3, 4 weeks for a contractor to finish. So, to your point, day or two. I mean, obviously that doesn't include the routing, it doesn't include the panel install, but for the unit itself, in terms of plumber getting in here to do that in a day or two is definitely what we were after, to try to cut down on the amount of time spent on these projects and just try to make the overall cost of the system more affordable for folks. And I think we've pulled that off at this point. I'm not sure there's been a time in recent past where you can get a radiant system in New Jersey for $20. I mean, is that the way you see it as well?
I do see it, but again, when you have the old systems, you need a lot of space. I was on an appointment just recently, and they have radiant heat to their house. The house is probably about 10 years old, and there's pumps everywhere, there's pipes everywhere, there's a lot of material, it's a lot of labor. It definitely works out well, and spending $20 a square foot. Well, the experience was great from start to finish. I met you. You came out. You showed me a lot of the literature, the handbook that you had on the product. So you took my plans, and your staff basically designed Warmboard to work in this house. And the house was framed. We didn't make many changes, and then we finalized the final design with all the zones and the install of the packs. When I called the staff, they were there, walked you through anything that needed to be installed to get the unit started up. So the whole experience was awesome. It's really hard to say what you like the most, because you really like it all, because wherever you can walk barefoot, it's the same temperature. Getting up in the morning, taking a shower, having the system right into the shower pan, the tile's nice and warm. Like I say, there's no negative at all with this system. It's very comfortable. It's easy to maintain temperatures, even though there's different zones. It seems like the house is even right from the first floor to the second floor. I have some other projects going on where I try to explain to people, if you want the best heat, Warmboard has the best heat. I have a couple friends that are building custom houses, and I'm trying to get them to use the Warmboard system. I referred one person recently, and they did the 3/4 panel, above their subfloor, because the subfloor was down already. Right. And he seems like he's very happy with his system.
So this is Glenn with Warmboard in New Jersey. Thanks for coming out to this Manasquan project. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.